Imagine having a giant set of Lego bricks, but instead of plastic, these bricks are the fundamental pieces of life, DNA. Synthetic biology is a lot like that. It's a field of science where we learn to read, write, and redesign the genetic code of living organisms. We are not just observing nature anymore, we are actively participating in its design process. Scientists can now create new biological parts, devices, and systems that don't already exist in the natural world. This allows us to program cells like tiny computers to perform specific tasks, such as producing a medicine or detecting a disease, opening up a whole universe of possibilities for our health and our planet. The basic idea is to apply engineering principles, like standardization, modularity, and design-build-test cycles, to biology. Think of it like building an electronic circuit. You have standard parts like resistors and capacitors that you can combine in predictable ways. Synthetic biologists are creating a similar catalog of biological parts, often called biobricks. These are standardized pieces of DNA with known functions. By putting these pieces together in new combinations, scientists can engineer microbes like yeast or bacteria to become tiny living factories. This approach makes biology more predictable, reliable, and easier to engineer for useful purposes, moving us beyond simple genetic modification. This ability to engineer life at its most fundamental level is already starting to transform our world in incredible ways. One of the most exciting areas is human health. For decades, many of our medicines have been derived from plants or made through complex chemical processes that can be slow and expensive. Synthetic biology offers a faster, more sustainable alternative. For example, instead of spending years growing and harvesting specific plants to extract a single medicinal compound, we can now teach a simple yeast cell to produce that exact same compound in a matter of days, just by feeding it sugar in a large vat. This is not science fiction. It's happening right now. Scientists have successfully engineered yeast to produce artemisinin, a key antimalarial drug, which was a major breakthrough that stabilized the drug's supply chain. More recently, companies are using this same playbook for other essential medicines. We can now design microorganisms to create everything from the precursors for pain relievers to the active ingredients in life-saving cancer treatments. This revolutionizes how we think about manufacturing, making it more like brewing beer than farming fields, and it puts powerful new tools in our hands to tackle some of health's biggest challenges. The true power of synthetic biology shines when we look at how it accelerates the creation of new medicines and therapies. One of the most game-changing examples is the development of CRISPR-based treatments. For the first time ever, we have an approved therapy called Casgevy that uses CRISPR gene editing technology to treat debilitating genetic conditions like sickle cell disease. This therapy works by directly correcting the faulty gene in a patient's own cells. It's a monumental achievement that moves us from just managing symptoms to potentially curing diseases at their source. Companies like CRISPR Therapeutics, Intellia, and Beam are at the forefront, developing a whole pipeline of these gene editing tools. This incredible progress is powered by a new wave of innovative companies and a surge of financial investment. The synthetic biology market is booming, expected to grow significantly in the coming years. This financial confidence is fueling discovery. For instance, a company called Anthea just raised another $56 million to expand its manufacturing capabilities. They have engineered yeast to produce the thebaine, a critical ingredient for the overdose reversal drug Narcan, in just a few weeks. This is a huge deal, as it helps secure the supply of essential medicines and decouples it from unpredictable agricultural harvests. This flood of investment is helping companies scale up from lab ideas to real-world products. Another amazing area is RNA-based medicine, pioneered by companies like Wave Life Sciences. They are developing treatments for a wide range of conditions, from rare genetic disorders like Huntington's disease to more common issues like obesity. Their platform allows them to design small molecules that can precisely target and modify RNA, the messenger that carries instructions from our DNA. This approach gives them a way to control which proteins our cells make, offering a highly specific way to fight disease. With enough cash to fund their operations into 2027, they have the runway to turn these promising ideas into therapies that could change millions of lives. It's not just about creating new drugs. It's also about building the tools that make it all possible. Twist Bioscience, for example, is like the world's most advanced DNA printer. They provide scientists with the custom-made synthetic DNA they need to run their experiments and build their biological circuits. Their rapid growth shows just how much demand there is for these foundational tools. By providing high-quality DNA quickly and cheaply, they are accelerating the pace of research and development across the entire field. This ecosystem of tool builders, therapeutic developers, and visionary investors is creating a powerful engine for medical innovation. The rapid growth of synthetic biology is catching the attention of governments around the world, but their reactions are complex and sometimes conflicting. On one hand, there is a clear recognition of the field's importance for national security and economic competitiveness. The US government, for example, has launched initiatives like the Biomap Consortium, which recently gave Anthea $23 million to help bring the manufacturing of essential medicines back onto American soil. This is a direct response to the supply chain problems we saw in recent years, showing a desire to use synthetic biology to build a more resilient national infrastructure for health. However, this positive support is contrasted by worrying trends in broader science funding. In the United States, proposed budget cuts for 2026 are staggering, with major reductions planned for key health agencies like the National Institutes of Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. These are the very institutions that fund the foundational research that a field like synthetic biology is built upon. Slashing these budgets could slow down the pipeline of new discoveries and discourage the next generation of scientists, creating a major roadblock to future progress, just as the field is beginning to hit its stride. At the same time, governments are grappling with how to regulate this powerful new technology, especially in light of potential risks. A recent US executive order has paused federal funding for certain types of high-risk research, particularly when conducted abroad. This signals a major policy shift, moving away from global scientific collaboration and toward a more nationalized, security-focused approach to biotechnology. While intended to enhance safety, this pivot could fragment the international scientific community and slow down the global response to shared health threats, creating new kinds of risks in the process of trying to mitigate old ones. This changing landscape has global consequences. The World Health Organization, which plays a critical role in coordinating global health initiatives, is facing its own funding crisis, partly due to the withdrawal of US funds. This comes at a time when international cooperation is more important than ever. While 124 countries have approved the WHO pandemic agreement, the organization's ability to actually execute its mission is in jeopardy. For synthetic biology to reach its full potential for global health, we need a balanced approach, strong national investment, robust international collaboration, and smart, forward-thinking regulations that encourage innovation while keeping us safe. With any powerful new technology, it's essential to think about the risks as well as the rewards. The same tools that allow us to design life-saving medicines could, in the wrong hands, be misused. Experts worry about dual-use risks, where scientific breakthroughs could be accidentally or intentionally used to cause harm. For example, the same techniques used to engineer a microbe to fight cancer could potentially be used to make a pathogen more dangerous. As the technology becomes more accessible, ensuring it is used responsibly becomes a critical challenge for scientists, policymakers, and all of society to address together. These concerns have been amplified by the rise of artificial intelligence. In one experiment, an AI was able to design 40,000 new toxic molecules in just 6 hours, highlighting how AI could accelerate the design of novel biological threats. This has prompted a shift in how we think about biosecurity. National security agencies are now taking a leading role in creating safety frameworks, focusing on containing risks. While this is important, it's also crucial that public health experts remain central to the conversation to ensure that safety measures don't unnecessarily stifle the life-saving research we so desperately need for our future. To manage these risks, the scientific community is actively developing safety protocols and ethical guidelines. This includes everything from screening DNA synthesis orders to ensure no one is trying to build a dangerous virus from scratch, to designing biological kill switches into engineered organisms so they can't survive outside of a controlled lab environment. These proactive safety measures are being built directly into the technology itself. The goal is to foster a culture of responsibility where scientists are constantly thinking about the societal implications of their work and designing safety in from the very beginning of every new project. Synthetic biology is without a doubt one of the most important scientific frontiers of our time. It holds the key to solving some of humanity's biggest challenges, from curing genetic diseases to creating sustainable supply chains for essential medicines. Its potential to transform our health and well-being is immense. That is why it's so important for all of us to pay attention, ask questions, and learn more about this incredible field. By staying informed and engaged, we can help ensure that this powerful technology is developed safely, ethically, and for the benefit of everyone, ushering in a healthier future for generations to come.